Hi! How are you? I'm alive. Isn't that lovely? My name is Michael. This is the Companion of Discomfort, and we're going to talk about this. Here, finally, some more samurai action. Here, with a lot of blood and gore and stuff going on. It's really lovely. If you like violence, I guess. No, it's a lovely little movie by Kazuya Shiraishi, who basically adapted that from a screenplay that was written by Kazuo Kasahara in 1964, which was rejected by the Toei studio, and in the original script all the characters died, and the studio didn't really like that, so the script was just completely destroyed, and just the plot was left, and Mr. Shiraishi and his people picked it up and finally turned it into a movie after a long time. The title here is 11人の賊軍. In English it's called 11 Rebels, and many people will now think, 7 samurai, 13 assassins, 11 rebels. It's just this line, and I'm not sure if this is as good as the other titles, but it's just to take that ahead. It's very worth watching. Let's maybe check few people from the cast. We have, for example, Takayuki Yamada, who was in 13 Assassins and in Crows Zero, and is generally a pretty cool dude, at least in the movies. I have never met him. Then we have Taiga Nakano, who was, for example, in Sweet Bean, or A Man, or Onoda, or Under the Open Sky. And let's see, maybe we have here one more. We have Amane Okayama, who recently was in A Cloud and Destruction Babies and The Fish Tale. And it's a big cast of pretty famous people. Let's mention Sadao Abe at last, known from maybe Afterlife or Kamikaze Girls, or Eyes of the Spider, Yokai War, Great Yokai War, and stuff. So, like I said, a big cast, because, like the title suggests, there are 11 rebels. I don't even have enough fingers to show you 11. But, these 11 rebels are here more like 11 prisoners who get the chance to escape from certain death if they defend a fortress from the enemies. And this whole thing is set in the Boshin War that was basically from 1868 and 1869 between the Tokugawa shogunate and the imperial forces, like the imperial troops who wanted to give the power back to the emperor, and the shogunate was more open, like opening the country to the west, and some people didn't like this western influence, so that was a thing that happened about a year or so. It was January 68 to June 69, so 1.5 years of war, and this movie is set in this war. And like I said, we have a group of 11 people who get to this fortress to defend it, and the interesting part is that in front of this fortress is a big... what is it called? A Schlucht? What is a Schlucht in English? Let's see. A canyon? Yeah, kind of a canyon. like pretty big gap between ground, and there's a bridge in the middle. So yeah, a canyon sounds so big. It's not as big as that, but kind of canyon. A canyon-like structure, let's call it that. And there's this suspension bridge across this canyon-like structure. So a lot of the fighting will be centered around this bridge and how to get across it, or maybe not get across it, how to fight around it. And another gimmicky thing that happens here is the protagonist, the character played by Takayuki Yamada, has a guy who at least believes that Yamada is his brother, and he has some mental problems, but he seems to be pretty smart, and he finds a way to build bombs. And yeah, basically all the fights are somehow structured around this canyon and the bombs and what to do with all the stuff. And it's mostly just fighting. There's some stuff going on in the fortress that's more fighting. There's some stuff outside that's basically killing people, and not so much fighting, just killing people and having discussions about how to fight. So it's a big budget blockbuster action movie, and it's sometimes a bit cheesy, which is totally fine, and it's very violent in many scenes. It's a big spectacle. And if you like this kind of stuff, that's the movie for you. I read some reviews and I was a bit confused. Like, some people complained that, oh yeah, we don't really get to know all the characters, which is pretty clear. We have a cast of 11 people, and some will die in the first fight scene, some will die in the second fight scene. And of course, the longer they stay, the clearer their personalities are. And I felt like they're mostly just like genre typical characters that you can understand quite easily. They don't really need a very deep, detailed characterization. It just works on this genre movie level, which is totally fine, I think. Like, not every story needs like every single character like fleshed out in detail. Sometimes a shallow, stereotypical genre character just does the job, and it's totally fine. And yeah, of course, the more important characters have more characterization because they have more scenes together, more scenes they do. There's a good bit the relationship between these 11 prisoners and the actual soldiers who defend the fortress, like together with them. There's some conflict, there's some companionship growing and all these things, and that's all pretty exciting. So I don't get this criticism, because for this kind of movie it's totally fine. It's enough. Of course it is not deep, it's not special. You don't feel that much for the first few people who die, but it's okay. That's how this type of movie works, and it works just fine. It's totally okay. And then there was another point that some people didn't like, that the action is kind of redundant and not very doesn't have much variety. What movie did you watch? Like I said, we have this quite interesting setting. Of course, we don't go away from there. We stay around this fortress with this canyon and the bridge, and the enemy is usually on the one side and our people are on the other side, and then we just have to somehow get around there and fight. And every time it's a little bit different. Like, one time the enemy has big ass cannons, and then some stuff happens with the bridge. Like, if you destroy the bridge, the enemy can't come across. Then you find out, oh, we need something from behind the enemy. So there's every battle has a very clear situation, a very clear setup, a clear goal, and that works perfectly fine. And each battle is different, of course. Just by default, it's a samurai movie. They fight with their swords and like maybe a naginata or something, or maybe a spear. But yeah, of course, it's not that much variation. A few guns show up as well, but yeah, sure. It's more the change in the setting that gives us variation. But I think that works very, very well because, like I said, each battle has different circumstances, and I think this is good. It's fine. And yeah, I don't really get this criticism. Of course, it's not a cinematic masterpiece. It's nothing you will tell your friends that, like, in 10 years, oh, do you remember 11 Rebels? You must watch this amazing masterpiece of cinema. It's a big blockbuster action, a little bit like cheesy, like I said, but that's everything I would expect from this kind of movie, especially if we imagine that the story is that old. The mentality was a bit different. Of course, it's a new script that they wrote here, but yeah, why not? Why not have a little bit of that flair? By the way, the writer was Junya Ikegami, who wrote, for example, the 2 Blood of Wolf movies that I like very, very much. And yeah, it's a totally fine, big action blockbuster samurai movie. And if you like that stuff, you will be really, really happy with it, I guess. And I was pretty happy. It's not my movie of the year. It's just a good one. It's a really good one. It's a fun time. It's pretty long. It's 155 minutes. If we imagine we need more characterization, we're like just 3 hours or something. But no, it's just good. Good old fun. If you have the chance and you like this kind of stuff, give it a try. Watch it. Enjoy. And yeah, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.